Live from New York, this is WIUR Radio.
Welcome back, gals. Welcome back to the second episode of Theories with Nia, where we talk about different conspiracy theories, ordinary conspiracy theories, mystery conspiracy theories, and just things that'll just have your mind altering and bending. I'm your host, Nia, and today we will be diving into a theory that is not dark, not frightening, but pretty strange when you really think about it. A theory that claims that the world is influenced not by people, not by machines, not AI, not aliens, but by sound. Not sound you can hear, not sound you can record, not sound you can feel, but a hidden layer of ultrasonic patterns called the Silent Symphony. All right, let's begin. Our first part, we're going to talk about how birds are following a different conductor, right? Now, imagine you're outside and you're walking and it's early morning and the air is like still, it's pretty quiet, nothing is going on. And then suddenly, a hundred of birds begin just chirping at once, like on a command, not randomly, not chaotically, almost like a nice, soothing rhythm. Now, imagine this. What if they're not singing for each other? What if they're just responding to something else? According to the Silent Symphony conspiracy theory, birds can hear a sound that blankets the entire planet, a sound that is basically orchestrated by an unknown source. The invisible frequency guides that, that guides them like sheet music. Let's consider a few strange examples, like the instant flock reaction. Ever see a flock of birds just turn all at the same exact moment, almost like a school of fish, but even just like more precise and on a perfect command? People say it's a social survival instinct, but Silent Symphony believers say no. That's a chorus cue, a beat drop only birds can hear. For example, you ever had a dog and you had those dog whistles and only dogs can technically hear them? That's basically what a silent symphony is. We can't hear them as humans, but only animals can hear them. And that's why animals really move in these mysterious ways that genuinely cannot be explained. For example, now we're going into the sudden silence, right? Have you ever noticed the birds in your neighborhood go silent at the same time? Like, if we really think about it, you're just sitting, maybe just playing on your game or just playing on Fortnite or just doing whatever, doing homework, and you just hear all this chirping, 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 and then silence. Strange, right? It's like instantly. Like, according to the theory, this is when Silent Symphony broadcasts a reset tone, a momentary pulse that reorganizes natural behavior. Birds hear it, animal hear it, humans don't, but we feel it. Some people report that when birds fall silent, they suddenly feel a shiver. Or what people call it, they like to say, like, if you feel a shiver, that means like a ghost is like breathing down your back. But that's not what Silent Symphony says. It's a weird stillness, the sense that something is a little bit off. What we feel is your brain reacting to sound you can't consciously perceive. Let's go into a migratory GPS. Still on the birds, not any animals, still on the birds. I also think that birds, to me, this is going off topic, but since we're in the topic of birds and how they be moving weirdly, I'd honestly think that birds are not real. And a lot of people might not agree with me. Think about it, pigeons. Sorry, we're going off topic, but this has to be said. If you ever seen a pigeon, especially in New York City, don't they just be moving weird or just odd, just not like how a real bird should be? That's because scientists thinks that, not scientists, but a lot of conspiracy theorists, a lot of famous one thinks that birds are uh planted by the government to spy on us. But let's get back on topic. But I wanted to say that and let you think on that for a second as we're talking about how we're talking about the birds. But migratory GPS, bird migration is one of the great mysteries of nature. How do birds know when to go, where to go, or how to navigate thousands of miles? Mainstream sciences, instincts, and magnetic fields. Silent symphony believers, they are following the conductor. Think about it. How do these birds even know, like, how do they know what state to go from what state? How do they know that they all need to sit here in one place in the middle of the street, in a random middle of the street, or they all flock together? How do they all know where to go at the same time? It's because they don't. They're following a conductor. Somebody out there is conducting them to move through all these places. That's the only thing that I could think of, or that makes sense to me, at least. It's like a global melody that shifts with the seasons. Like, what if this isn't just an instinct, but it's just all choreographed by somebody, aka a conductor? Now let's get into other animals as a receivers. Dogs, cats, horses, rabbits. Nearly basically all the animals we know can hear sounds that humans really can't hear. That's because their ears are just obviously more sensitive than us. And I don't know. I'm not a doctor on this, but I like the conspiracy theories. But in this theory, they don't just hear them, they respond to them. Okay, let's picture this. Dogs barking at nothing. Whoever has a dog, I even have a dog, they just randomly start barking at nothing. And a lot of people be like, oh, they're just barking at the cars in the streets because they hear them because their ears are sensitive. But sometimes there just don't be a car in the street and they're literally just barking at nothing. And we've all experienced, whoever has a dog or just like any type of animal that uses sound to voice how they feel. Right. So your dog just suddenly perks up, stares into the hallway, stares at the door, tail stiff, and there's nothing there. No noise you can hear, but maybe think about this. But maybe a tone just played, a cue, a signal, a pulse. Silent symphony theories believe that these tones are shaped low level animal decisions. Your guard down, relax now, move over there, wake up, something's changing. Cats turn their heads slowly. Cats will sometimes actually look directly at the wall. I actually had a cat once, and he just randomly would just stiffen up, tail go up, and just look at the wall and just stare at, as if like there's like like a ghost. Like my mom used to say, like, oh, maybe they're like they have virgin eyes, so they just see ghosts or whatever. But I don't believe that. But like I said, cats will sometimes look directly at a wall as if following something moving in slow motion. To believers, this is a sign that cats aren't seeing something, they are hearing its path. All right. That was a lot of information to take, but let's go into our first break and then we'll get into part 2 um where we talk about more how animals are the receivers.
Untouchable, unstoppable.
This is WIUR Sports Radio.
Hi, I'm Robbie Basil, president of WIUR Radio, and I hope you're enjoying today's show. Have you ever wanted to call the biggest games, the biggest moments for the biggest names for Iona Athletics? Then the newly founded WIUR Sports Radio is the place to be. Launched in January of 2025, our goal is to try and get broadcasters here at Iona an opportunity to learn, succeed, and get a chance to be on air. From getting to call the big moments at the hack. Dinkins trying to go to the rack. Denied! Yafet Mundi to seeing the crack of the bat at City Park.
The line drive into left field, around third, and it kicks away. The Gales are going to win it in 10.
We make those moments happen on our brand new WIUR Sports Radio platform on Mixer. If you're interested, feel free to reach out to me via email or to the rest of my e-board to join the club. We are WIUR Sports Radio, the new home of Iona Athletics. Now, back to the show on WIUR, Iona University Radio.
Okay. Welcome back. Back to our conspiracy theory about sound and symphony and the silent symphony. Now, let's get back into it. If silent symphony tones influence animals, the big question is, can they influence us as humans? Can they influence us as much as they can as they do with animals? According to this theory, yes, absolutely. Definitely can, but just not directly. Humans can't consciously hear ultrasonic frequencies, but our brains can still technically process the patterns. The urge, for example, the urge that comes out of from nowhere. All right. Have you ever just suddenly felt the intense urge to just reorganize your room, go for a walk, clean everything, change your plans, start a random project, decide that they want to get in shape 4 months before summer, or just something so random that you just get the urge to just do? Silent symphony theorists claim that micro impulses are triggered by the shifts in global ultrasonic patterns. It's not control, it's influence, a nudge that makes you want to do something. Let's get into collective mood flips. Think about moments when everyone seems to just act the same way. A sudden global nostalgia, a wave of restlessness, a strange energy in public places. Some say these are chorus changes. Sorry, I keep fixing my mic. Some say these are chorus changes, a large scale shifts in symphony's rhythm. Silent symphony believers say that viral trends, random dances, phrases, memes, and aren't just cultural. They're responses to the same global sonic pulse, a shared subconsciousness rhythm that humans feel without hearing. I know I'm probably losing you here, but listen, it all makes sense at the end. It's all going to tie together. Let's get into the symphony made visible, all right? Here's what the theory gets even weirder, might a little confusing for some who doesn't understand or just doesn't want to open their minds to craziness. But fog, and I'm talking about like fog, like just fog. Fog is considered physical evidence of the symphony. According to believers, fog forms when the sound and waves get so active that the vibrational patterns cause moisture to condense rapidly. I know this is really far-fetched, maybe just out of like the norm, like out of the realm, but bear with me. Fog sometimes rolls in out of nowhere with no temperature drop and incredibly defined shapes. Believers says that this happens during high activity broadcasts. Have you ever noticed that in fog, everything sounds muffled, hard to hear, just not your regular day-to-day how you interpret things, right? There's like an eerie stillness. The theory says the symphony is at its loudest during fog, overriding the soundscape with its own signal. Dogs become on high alert, cats hide, birds disappear entirely. Think about it. Have you ever really seen, except for like a crow, but like we all know like when a crow comes out, I'm not gonna say it, but we ever just notice that birds are just never there when it's just high fog? Like just think about it. But believers, this is because the broadcast is too intense and animals are overwhelmed by the sound. Sorry. All right. Now that we reach the most intriguing aspect, right? Let's take a second to reset. We're actually coming to an end here. This is a little quick one, but I'm sorry. There are rare pulses in the symphony that recognize behavior patterns. Humans report feeling momentary dizziness, deja vu, sudden nostalgia, like time is weird for a second, a brief sense of emptiness, a split second flash of clarity. Silent Symphony says these are just moments where the global melody performs a full key change in our brain momentarily, and it just syncs with it. These stories of like an entire classroom getting quiet at the same instant, stadium shifting energy at all once, whole family pausing conversations for no reason, coincidence maybe, or a universal reset. Think about it. Because humans don't hear actual tone, we only perceive the psychological ripple, like a pebble dropped into a lake beneath the surface. You never see the pebble, only waves. So, what is Silent Symphony? A global secret, a natural phenomenon, a planetary heartbeat, or just a weird, beautiful, strange idea that just got you overthinking a little bit. Whether real or not, one thing remains certain. These patterns in nature we cannot explain. These are rhythms we do not perceive. And perhaps, just perhaps, the world hums a melody that we will never ever hear as humans. Thank you for listening to me. I'm Nia, your host. This was Theories with Nia, episode 2. Until next time, keep listening, even to the silence.
This is WIUR Radio.
Hi, I'm Morgan Beastie from the Ionian, and I hope you're enjoying today's show. Are you looking for the latest scoop on campus news, sports, and more? Check out the Ionian University's very own award-winning student newspaper. We keep